We should be getting our hands on Star Citizen Alpha 4.0 next year, and backers have been anticipating this update for a very long time. But what should we be waiting for next? That is what we are going to be trying to answer in today's video. Hello everyone, it's the Eradicator, and today we will try to answer the following question: what is next after Star Citizen Alpha 4.0? Anticipating Star Citizen's next big step has in fact always been something that Star Citizen backers have been trying to do for years, all the way back when we were stuck with the hangar module in 2013. Time flies, right? Well, back then we were wondering about what would happen after the flight module would be released, and then, with 2.0 we were wondering how the persistent universe will evolve and how the developers will be able to create all the tech required for all the crazy goals that we established together for this project. And so, for years now we were wondering how persistence and server meshing would eventually be made and what they would bring to the game. As I am writing those lines, we are just a few months away from finding this out, and of course it makes it an exciting time to be a Star Citizen backer and follower, but also it makes me wonder about the following question: what is next? Despite the technological achievement that Star Citizen Alpha 3.18 and 4.0 will be, there will still be so much to achieve for the game's final vision. So what should we be anticipating next? Well, I've got two possible answers for that. First, I think that we could likely eventually move to an Alpha 5.0 further down the line. Each new Alpha number marked the start of a significant evolution of the game. Alpha 1 came with the flight mechanics, Alpha 2 brought with it the very first steps of the persistent universe, Alpha 3 came along with the game's planetary technology with the many improvements that we are enjoying today, and Alpha 4 will bring server meshing, with it the ability to travel between star systems. But what about Alpha 5? Well, I think that when we look at the major milestones left, one of them is definitely crafting, and I believe that the introduction of player crafting into the game would be enough of a game changer to move from Alpha 4 to Alpha 5. With the ability to create in-game assets and in-game objects that eventually would persist in the game universe, we could of course here see the beginning of player outposts or houses built by, for example, the Consolidated Outlands Pioneer. But these outposts could very well as well end up being player-owned production facilities used to craft commodities such as consumables or food, or even manufactured items like ship hardware perhaps. That production would then be injected into the game's economy, with the possibility of having an impact that would eventually make, for example, prices fluctuate, or eventually have certain factions plan to take measures to reverse the course in their favor. As you can see here, crafting will take Star Citizen to a whole new dimension and would definitely deserve a number of its own. But then, I also think that Alpha 4 could be the very last Alpha circle before a beta and then a release version. Let's remember that Alpha and Beta circles are actually very different, with very different roles. Alpha is used, for example, to add new core features, while Beta is there to polish the said core features while bringing additional minor additions. Such additional minor additions could be, for example, additional tiers to the Tier 0 crafting mechanics that could have been brought during the Alpha 4 cycle, for example. Let's also remember that Cloud Imperial Games said long ago that we will not have, for example, the promised 100 star systems at launch, nor all of the promised ships and features, but instead it will be a minimal viable product, which actually still needs to be defined at this date. With no more major technological hurdle in line after server meshing, it is entirely possible that Cloud Imperial game directors decide to start defining what that minimal viable product would be, if it is not already done, and gradually push the content into the game until the objective is reached. Such content could include, for example, a minimum amount of star systems, including Terra, as well as some of the professions that are missing right now, and that would be, for example, must-haves in a space game, such as passenger transport, for example. Once these features are up and running, CIG could then decide to pull the trigger and start polishing the game in beta phase until they are happy with the stability and quality of their build. So there you have it, two possible routes that Cloud Imperial Games could take following the release of Star Citizen Alpha 4.0. I personally think that once server meshing is out, the decision will be made to finish the last required features to then eventually turn our current tech demo into an actual game. And the reason is because by then it will have been well over 10 years since the project was originally announced back in 2012, and releasing a version 1.0 would finally cut the narrative that we see out there that Star Citizen will never be released. Also, if they manage to refine their backend tech well enough and turn it into, for example, a robust, well-oiled machine, I think that we'll also be able to further avoid data corruption that we are seeing today, and that would also be able to perform corrections without having to do a reset, which is eventually what people want at this point, and it's also what CIG want eventually further down the line. Also, as more and more people join the game, people tend to forget that it still is in active development, so when they get reminded with a wipe, we see a lot of drama and outrage over the internet, and I suspect that Cloud Imperial Games will be very happy to avoid such publicity too, as it's about time that Star Citizen starts to be seen for what it is, an incredible endeavor to make breakthroughs of what once was thought to be unachievable in the gaming industry. But let me know in the comment section down below, guys, what do you envision for the future of Star Citizen development following the release of Star Citizen Alpha 4.0? I personally don't think that we will know this year, or that we will have, since we're not going to have a keynote from Chris Roberts for the second time in a row, by the way, but maybe we'll have another letter from a chairman that will eventually enlighten us a little further down the line. Anyway, guys, if you answer the question and subscribe to the channel in public settings, you'll be in for a chance to win an Envil Centurion with LTI. We also have 2 more centurions to give away on Discord. You'll find the link in the description down below. Make sure to enter our video sharing contest to get a chance to enter. Also, you can also become a Patreon or a YouTube channel member to do so. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I wish you a wonderful day. It's been the Eradicator. Shout out to Captain Snake, Geek Citizen, Eric, Own, Dr. Fabin, and the DJ Dun. It's the Eradicator, as I said. Well, I will see you guys later.